Okay, so this is Capstone, Friday the 20th, week 12, and we spent a good share of the day talking about assets, management of assets, and we kind of distinguish, assets, help desk. We're kind of tying that together. So we talked about maintenance, being able to report issues, what software is on our assets, what hardware, and then after we got into the presentation, we talked about locations. We had a presentation on asset management. PCs, laptops, where they're at, who's got them. Same thing, we have a number of items to indicate in terms of hardware. So who? We talked about administrators, second year students, first year students, different types of accounts. So we also talked a little bit about application programming interface, the idea of we're looking at grade trunk, and I'm not sure, but just talking about this in general, if a piece of software is keeping stuff in AWS, is there a way, depending on how they're storing it, maybe if they're storing it in MySQL tables, we can create an app that would access that information, and instead of using the program that's managing the assets, maybe we want to design something that's another way of accessing the data. I can give a simple example of that is like in Canvas. We don't have a way to do that, but I think there would be if we could design some code that would go right out to AWS where the attendance is stored. Whoops, let me back up there a little bit. And bring it in and do our own work on that with our own software. So, we had the presentation. Okay, so I think I'm good here. We had the presentation. Talked about assets, and he gave us lots of options. Lots of different options on how it might work. We talked about barcodes. We also talked about RFID and so forth. So individually, the students were going to report out. They're going to create a document highlighting their thoughts, what categories we thought we would need for our assets, here in the IT program. So they were supposed to delineate there, and we're talking about devices, some PCs, you could categorize with some laptops, desktops, etc. And then networking equipment, we got routers, switches, firewalls, etc., etc. Okay. So I went in and created accounts, and I have the company created, so now it's just a matter of the students can access that, and we'll do a little work on that leading up to next Friday. We talked about security, the foundations class. People should finish that up and do the summary and start working through the gateway class and labs. That's due the last in 2 weeks, approximately 2 weeks. So they need to get started on that and let me know if they're having any issues with the labs. The Palo Alto Essentials that is optional. I am going to set up some development ideas for the students to do individually. And we'll talk about that on Friday. And that's it.